I'm Lequita Brooks, your social impact speaker and strategist. Welcome to Social Impact Sundays at 6, where we have massive social impact that leads to massive income. And today we have Trina Roldan today on the social work movement. She is a holistic social worker. She's works in academia. She has experience with anger management, helping women with different eating disorders, also body image, all the things. So welcome, Trina.
Hi. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so tell me what inspired you to become a social worker?
I just thought about it. I was about 10 years old when I wrote in my diary that I wanted to be a social worker. I actually grew up around social workers. We had this social worker, this family social worker named Mr. Stern. Mr. Stern came over all the time and took us around. He was very active. He dealt with our mental health, but he also helped the family go out to events, to the circus, to the parks, to many different events. So I always remembered him. Mr. Stern was definitely someone in my life I wanted to be like. So that was someone who encouraged me. And I never asked him how to help me become a social worker, but I just watched him. And I was always interested. And I always have this feeling of wanting to rescue people. A psychologist I used to work with, she said, Trina, you have rescue syndrome. You like saving everybody. So I think that inspired me to move on and want to study social work. I like the social justice part and just making sure vulnerable populations get the help that they need.
That is so awesome that you actually had a social worker in your life who was an amazing social worker, because we always hear about people going to the profession because of a bad experience from meeting a social worker. But in your situation, Mr. Stern made like a huge impact that continues to live on within you today.
Yes. And also, the type of family I did come from, we did need help. So my mom would take me to see a social worker for some counseling. So over the years since I was young, I always met with a social worker. And so it's always been instrumental in my life, always. And it's something I always wanted to do.
I love that. So tell me, when you first started in the social work profession, what was your first job or career opportunity, as some would say?
Great question. I actually studied sociology, so it didn't lead me directly into the field. I was kind of lost. I didn't have great advisement at work. I'm sorry, at school, but it's okay. Turned it into something positive. I started to work at Coney Island Hospital with my bachelor's in sociology as a caseworker. I was working at a pediatric clinic and slash doing HIV counseling, which I loved. It was part-time, but it also encouraged me to go back and get my master's degree in social work. And because I was surrounded by so many social workers at the hospital, and I would see tags of I see the name tag LCSW, I would see LMSW. So I had like this encouragement and I just drive. I said, I want that. I want to wear that too. And they just they hovered over me like I was under their wings, and they pretty much schooled me and told me, encouraged me. I also worked under pediatric doctors, I worked with psychologists, so I had like a lot of people just over me and just encouraging me, and they helped me get into grad school. So that was the start for me.
Oh my goodness, you just met all of the most amazing social workers. Like, I have not met anyone who's had nothing but great things to say about all of their social work experiences with other social workers.
They did. They really, I can't, I don't have one complaint. I really had a lot of social workers. I mean, like I said, since I was young, they were all like, I was covered by them. They had such a great influence on me. So I knew that I had to do this.
So now you've graduated with your master's in social work. What is the first position that you had once you graduated with your MSW?
So honestly, I wasn't sure where I wanted to go. I was supposed to go to the Navy. The Navy offered some great benefits. I was gonna become an officer right away, but suddenly I just changed my mind. I applied to work at a college, and they had offered me a full-time position after a year, and I took it. And because I was able to apply my social work skills at the college, doing a full-time job career as an academic counselor. I said yes because I didn't feel desperate to take the position. I knew I had options. Even back then, before a lot of transformation that's going on now, and with everyone talking about what you can do differently, I knew in my heart back in 2009, I knew I didn't have to settle. And because I'm kind of a good rebellious at heart, I don't follow where everybody else is going. I knew in my heart that I wanted to do counseling. I just didn't want to do it in a way that I had to do. I knew I had choices. I had a master's degree. No one was going to tell me what I was going to do. I needed to find my way, and I needed to do it in a way that I knew was right in my heart. And because I started to work with the younger generation, it was, college students that just got out of high school. That's the age I wanted to work with. And I knew that. And so when they offered me a full-time position they first offered me a full-time position as a case manager for a program that was for students who had developmental needs. I knew right away I needed to be there.
And that's so great that you actually went into a role that now you can support the younger version of Trina, the Trina who probably needed someone in her life when she was going through high school and then going to college and going into sociology, not really realizing, what? I could have actually had a bachelor's in social work. And now you're in a role to be able to help the person that was you back then. So that is amazing.
You nailed it so much because that's exactly what it felt like emotionally. Like I feel like I was nurturing the Trina that didn't feel nurtured. And so every time now I come across a student, like even yesterday, one of my students had reached out to me about something that she's now going through. And I should actually work with her, she's not just my student. She works at the college as well, and I linked her to services that is actually should help her now. So it wasn't just dealing with emotions. It's you deal with the emotions, but you also want to deal with. I also am able to deal with stuff that's causing the emotion. So if it's a certain resource that is causing us, a student to feel sad, or mad, I'm able to acknowledge that, and be aware of it because of my social work skills, and link them to the resources that they need, which I know I can do it at the college, which is amazing for me.
I can only imagine. It's probably extremely fulfilling, rewarding, and also kind of cathartic for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, it is. I've been there 14 years, and I know that I have made a difference. I know even if they don't come back and say anything, I know that I have. I don't need, I don't need anyone um really saying much, but I can tell that there's a difference that has been made.
And I'm confident that you're making a difference. You're making a difference at the college. And I know we talked about earlier your next steps with working more, with making a difference in the lives of women who are experiencing some eating disorders, body image. So tell me more about that and your vision for the future.
Yeah, I have dealt with my own personal journey and it's very, very personal. I know now where I'm at in my life and my journey. I know why I had used food to comfort myself. I knew what caused it and all those things. I do have insight. So I definitely look forward to working with women to combat those issues, to bring them up and to help them through their journey and to coach them along the way. So I look forward to that, and also any traumatic issues that they have, gone through. You know, maybe their father wasn't there, their mom, things like that. So I definitely want to also deal with, their emotional needs as well. So I want to combine all that, and because I have that personal experience, I understand it, but I also, definitely want to be objective in my approach to it.
Yes, your holistic approach, I
Just
might add.
yes, that's definitely. I also want to deal with the image because once you lose a lot of weight, your even though your body changes, your mind doesn't catch up that fast, because you still kind of see yourself as the person you were before you lost the weight. So what I want to do is help women see themselves as who they are right now after the weight. And it's kind of like body acceptance as well, because sometimes your body may not turn out how you expected it to be after the weight. Maybe you miss that person. There's also a mourning I know I went through when I lost a lot of weight. So there's all these issues that women are going to deal with, losing the weight, maintaining the weight. Maybe there's some relapse issues that might come up. There's so many things that have to be addressed when it comes to weight loss and weight management.
And is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience?
Emotions. I have definitely been working on my own emotions lately. Emotions do affect how we respond and react to things. But just going back to, I think, what we were talking about as far as the social work field. I'm sorry I changed so quickly. I just have a lot that I wanted to share. But I would just encourage those who are not maybe working yet, maybe in social work school. And I had mentioned this before earlier. Don't let anyone dictate where you want to go. I know this field is very heavy on mental health and being a therapist, which I encourage it. I really do believe in it. But if it's something in your heart, it has to be something that you really want to do. So I would just say that just do a lot of exploring. You can look for field careers that are going to pay you well. I know that I'm in one now, and I have great benefits. I have a great salary. I don't think I've ever been bitter or broke. I think I've been stable, and it's getting even more stable. So I'm happy with my career. You don't have to be a broke, bitter social worker. It's not, it doesn't have to be your future. It does not.
And I just want to say yes to all of the rebellious, spirited social workers who are okay with being the outlier. I love it.
Yes, yes, that's how I feel. That's how I think I did it. And I'm glad I did it kind of in that way. I wouldn't say my way, totally, but I would say definitely I didn't go the way that everyone else went.
Exactly. You followed your heart, you did what felt good to you, and you were like, you know what? I'm going to lean into what I desire, and I'm okay with being a rebel. So I thank you so much, Trina, for joining us today on the social work movement.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. And I am Lequita Brooks, your social impact speaker and strategist at Social Impact Sundays at 6, where we have massive social impact that leads to massive income. Make sure you go to thesocialworkmovement.com to get involved. Once again, that is thesocialworkmovement.com to get involved. Until next time, have an amazing day.